Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I want to kind of walk through using Vampire the Masquerade, Vampire the Masquerade 1994 collectible card game cards as inspiration for building non-player characters in Dungeons and Dragons. We've looked at building a player character from like a full sweeping arced story. We've looked at using the cards for inspiration for names. Today, what I want to do is using the cards to make a build. Right now, what's a build? That's heritage. Right now, that's called race in the game. That word will almost certainly be replaced soon. I'm doing it before Wizards of the Coast gets to it. I'm using the term heritage. So heritage is human, dwarf, elf, tabaxi, turtle, tiefling, half orc, half elf, halfling. By the way, I don't use really gnomes at all in my game. I think they're super redundant with halflings. Don't really think they're needed. But those are heritages, and then of course you have a collection of classes. You have your classic four: wizard, rogue, cleric, and fighter, right? And then of course you have monks and druids and rangers. You have a wide array of different of different classes, and then we also have backgrounds, right? So we have sailor and urchin and acolyte and criminal and charlatan and guild artisan, right? So what I want to do is I want to sweep through some of these cards today and get what energy they give me. So one, when I look at the image, I'm going to look at the face, I'm going to look at the attire, I'm going to look at the background, right? What's the energy I get from these? And I just want to teach this to you so that you should be getting a quick pile of ideas. And there's virtually nothing that's faster and cheaper than cards to do this, right? So let's go ahead. Now, one thing I want to warn about. So I think you can absolutely, from somebody's face and from their attire, you can say this class, this background, right? Um, uh, Generally, that's generally safe. It's not safe doing that from heritages. So the heritages are going to be free swinging. They're not going to be based on anything I'm seeing. I'm just going to choose them at random. Okay. All right. So here for this card, I would come away with definitely with the energy of a red robed cleric, and I would make it. And by the way, what level? Right. Well, we're going to go from level 1 to level 20. And we're going to base that off the confidence we see in their face, right? The more confidence they have, the more power we're going to give them. So here, I would say a fourth level. Turtle cleric acolyte. Okay. All right. And so let's whip through some of this. Ooh, there we go. All right. Here, 16th level. Okay. 16th level human fighter soldier. Very direct. Really strong image. Really strong character. This gets interesting. All right. That's a sorcerer, in my opinion. That is a 12th level. 12th level half elf sorcerer. And then guild artisan. What kind of art does she do? Good question, right? And that can be found and explored in your game. You don't have, and that's another thing. When you introduce your player characters, you don't need to give everything. That's a fighter, right? Okay, so I would go with 14th level fighter, 14th level tiefling fighter, and I would make the background soldier. Okay. By the way, urchin is virtually useless as a background. I really wish they'd get rid of it. Okay, so and I'm hoping in 6th edition they'll just drop it. It seems totally useless. So here we go. Oh, that's a wizard. If I ever saw a wizard, I'd make this an 8th level wizard, and with elf wizard, 8th level elf wizard, sage. Clearly sage energy, right? Okay, here we go. I would go with a ranger. Okay, 3rd level ranger, 3rd level half orc ranger, with the background of folk hero. Okay, all right, and what do we got here? I would attack the energy here. Oh, no question. You're looking. This, in my opinion, is going to be a paladin, right? So, and this is going to be a half elf paladin. I would half elf paladin, and then I would put an outlander background on that paladin, just because that would be interesting to explore an outlander paladin. And I would set the level at eighth level here. Okay. What's the energy here? Whoa, that's a druid. Okay. This is going to be a halfling druid. And there's just so much confidence. This is our highest. I would make an 18th level halfling druid folk hero. That's the energy I get off of that card. Okay. All right. What do we got here? That's a really fascinating face. Look at that face. Look at the symbol around her neck, right? Where are we landing with this? Tiefling energy, overall, just from positioning and stance, right? I would go with a tiefling monk, okay, with a sage background, right? Somebody exploring for ideas, where ideas and knowledge would be the treasure thereafter, right? Oh boy. All right, what do we got here? So I would go with, this is one, I would set this at a 14th level character. The energy here is absolutely wizard. And by the way, I'm going to start yeah. And honestly, there's so much like malevolence here that I would set this as our first neutral character, right? Any of these other characters could be anything from the from the good or the neutral. This player character would definitely be. Actually, I'm sorry, we're still doing NPCs, right? So I would actually, this is an evil vibe, pure evil vibe. I would make this character right out of the gate. I would attach a. There's almost like a cackling glee at the mischief that's coming, and I would make this a human wizard, 10th level, and it's going to be a criminal background. There you go. And also, I would attach immediately chaotic evil to that character, so because the energy is just so high from it, right? All right, what do we got here? Definitely sage, right? The moment you look at this, you see sage. And honestly, there's not a lot of confidence in that face. I'd make this a third level, human wizard sage, and I would make this non-player character very ineffective, right? A lot of times we attach power and effectiveness and capability to age, and I don't think that's always the case, right? You can have an old character who's just reached third level, right? Stubborn people might go down that road, or just people who are really are not open to new ideas. And this dude really captures me as not open to new ideas, right? What do we got here? All right. So here I would definitely, the energy here for class, I think. Oh, this is definitely a charlatan. So I would attach charlatan as a charlatan rogue. And I would make this person half elf, but I would set them at 12th. Even though there's kind of a level of disturbance there, I still see a lot of confidence. So that's me just sweeping through and doing some quick character builds just from the inspiration of these Vampire the Masquerade cards. I'm so in love with these cards. I love this idea of finding inspiration for Dungeons & Dragons in cheap, numerous sources that are really disconnected from Dungeons & Dragons. I'm convinced that this is a good way to put innovation into your game in a way that's not going to break the budget, in a way that's fun and inviting. And I think I've shown, like, every single card that comes up contains an idea if you have your mind open and you're ready. All that's my opinion. I'd love to hear your opinion. What do you use to put a new, unusual, really different energy into your games? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.